You're listening to the Infinite Banking Mastery Podcast. Did you know that you could build a tax-free pool of wealth that's liquid and accessible all your life while building your retirement nest egg? Gain full control of your financial future and stop relying on the government and banks. The wealthy have already discovered this wealth-building secret. Now it's your turn to get financially secure without following the conventional wisdom that keeps you in debt to banks. Now here's your host, Valerie LaRocque.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Infinite Banking Mastery Podcast. I hope you had a great week. So is whole life the best place to store your cash, or should I be investing it somewhere else? I get asked this a lot. Well, the answer is yes, of course. My opinion would be, without a doubt, your cash is going to do way more for you inside of a whole life policy. But what we're comparing it to isn't another investment. It's comparing it to a bank, really, a bank account. So your cash is going to do way more for you inside of a whole life policy than it will in like a savings account. So we're comparing whole life more like a savings vehicle, like a savings account, as opposed to an investment, another investment. I get asked all the time about other investments. But if we're looking at just a savings account, what does it do? What does it provide that's more than or better than a savings account? Well, obviously, first of all, it provides a death benefit, which your savings account would not do. Your checking account, your bank account, it's not going to provide a death benefit. When you pass away, your family will get whatever's in the account. And if there's any earnings, it'll be taxable. Whereas with a whole life policy, that money that you're storing in that cash value account will provide a much larger death benefit at your death. So that's one benefit. Also, the whole life policy provides guaranteed growth as opposed to just a savings account, which would maybe have some growth, some interest, but not the same as a whole life policy. Now, this may look a little different, this growth, for those who are already in their retirement years, but it's still possible to meet your goals using a whole life policy if you're in your retirement years, really just depending on what those goals are. It's not impossible. Whole life policy also provides access to the death benefit in the event of a critical, chronic, or terminal illness. I know I've described these before, but just to refresh your memories, the critical rider would provide access to up to 25% of your death benefit for a critical illness. Now, there is some additional detail around that, but for a critical illness, such as major heart attack, stroke, stage 4 cancer, things like that. If you were to have a chronic illness, as in you can't perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living that qualifies you for long-term care or would trigger a long-term care policy, being unable to perform 2 out of those 6. Those activities of daily living being things like continence, transferring, eating, bathing, dressing, toileting. Also just having dementia, that will trigger it all by itself. That would provide you access to up to 50% of your death benefit for a need like a long-term care need. If you needed to have home care or assisted living, you'd be able to access up to 50% of your death benefit. Another win would be that you could access your earnings. They can be accessed income tax-free by borrowing against the policy inside of a whole life policy as opposed to a savings account. So there's just a lot more benefit to saving dollars within a whole life policy rather than a bank account. And remember, that's really what we're comparing it to. I would never tell you that you have to choose between funding a whole life policy versus some other investment that you're really interested in. Whole life, to me, and to many of us practitioners out there, is the and asset. You can have your whole life policy, begin your whole life policy, fund your policy, and do whatever other investment that you're passionate about, that you're interested in, that you've learned about, that you're excited about doing. So I get asked a lot about other investments. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Should I invest in this or that? Do you help people with Bitcoin? What about precious metals? Gold and silver are best. etc., etc. I get asked about all sorts of different types of investments, and people want to share what they've learned and ask my opinion and ask if I can help them with that. So I am a fully licensed advisor and can help people with investment accounts. However, that doesn't mean I can help with all types of investment accounts. I had a few clients recently asking about buying private notes or note stacking, which, although some people out there will say this is a super safe investment option, it's actually considered one of the most risky just simply due to lack of liquidity. Now, of course, I don't know about all the different options or the ones you might be looking at. I don't know all about them and I can't speak for all of them. This is just the case generally. Now, whether or not I think some of these ideas are great ideas, I oftentimes can't really get into it. With my licensing, it's something that's a compliance issue, and so I can't always get into the topic with you or direct you to something if it's not something that I'm able to help you with. Now, what I am here to help you with is showing you how to capitalize the things you want to invest in. As I mentioned before, the thing we all need most is capital. And this is what the infinite banking concept is great for. Growing and protecting capital that you own and control that can be used to fund other investments that you are passionate about. So if you're looking for a high rate of return, you would not be looking to your whole life policy for that. That's what other investments are for. You can buy those other investments after first running your money through your whole life policy so that you are capturing the earning power of every dollar and buying future death benefit dollars for pennies today before deploying those funds to an investment from which you are seeking a higher rate of return. As you are building your pool of capital, you can then borrow against it to invest in the things you understand and believe strongly in. You can invest it back into your business, into real estate, gold, silver, Bitcoin, whatever it is out there, regular investments, whatever it is out there that you are interested in and that you understand and want to invest in. You can borrow against your growing pool of cash value to invest in things that will create another stream of cash flow for you, in addition to your asset of whole life insurance. If you choose to reach out and work with me, I'm here to be your coach, to help you with your banking system, a coach you can ask questions to make sure you stay on track, and to help guide you to make sure you treat yourself like an honest banker. Another way I can help you review any disability policies you have to see if you have any long-term disability policies through your workplace, or if you have something individual, I can help refresh your memory on what your coverage is. Because aside from time being the most important thing, your ability to earn an income is your greatest asset. I would say your second greatest asset, as time is your first greatest asset. If you can't work and you can't earn an income, you're going to have a very hard time paying for the roof over your head, your car, your food, utilities, cell phone bill, and the many other things that you can't live without. If you've done a good job of building your assets, you may want to protect against having to spend them down in a hurry if you were to need home care or assisted living. That cost is very, very high and can easily demolish a retirement savings. Thankfully, a whole life policy can help to protect against this risk, but there's also long-term care policies if you want to look into something else or something more specific to only long-term care. If your primary concern is outliving your income, that's another area I can help, whether we utilize the infinite banking concept along with a vehicle that is guaranteed to pay you a monthly income stream for the rest of your life, or if only one of those vehicles is needed, I'm here to help you figure it out. As I always mention on my podcast, you are welcome to reach out. You can reach me at valerie@alphaomegawealth.com. Turns out this is a shorter podcast today, but I hope it was helpful, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you for listening.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.